How you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, time for a series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. It's a bit of a late night review, so I apologize for the rather craptastic lighting. I'm doing what I can with the lighting there, and I've even got an extra light over there, but at the end of the day, I can only make this look so good. But anyway, folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I am in my back room today, which means we get, boom, Peter Can Thunderbolt poster behind me. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? Spirit gun. I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? Happens to be my, boom, my Yu Yu Hakusho Chapter Black shirt, which I love this shirt, dude. It's just a very cool design. Modeled after, of course, the iconic Marvel Infinity Gauntlet design. But yeah, if you're unfamiliar with Yu Yu Hakusho, it's kind of an old school anime. Came out in, I believe, the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. Sort of around the same time as like DBZ and Sailor Moon, things like that. Kind of part of that generation. Of course, famously, the creator, he would eventually go on to create the series Hunter x Hunter, which of course has been very successful. And yeah, you know, I got into Yu Yu Hakusho sort of in my high school days when, you know, Cartoon Network and Toonami and stuff were debuting a lot of anime. And it's been one of my favorites ever since, so neato shirt. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, this is a late night review. Typically, I try to get these done when the sunlight is out, when I have that nice natural lighting. But at the time I'm doing it, it's winter, so like anything after 5 o'clock is pretty much a crapshoot. But earlier in the day, I did go over there and do some reviews. And then I took a nap. And then I took a longer nap, and then I took a longer nap, because I was really tired, as it turns out. And when I finally woke up, I was in the house, and I was like, well, I don't want to go out for anything, you know, it's like I already went out earlier to grab some food. See what I got in the house. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I got this thing, and I can do a review for it, even if I have to do it in crappy lighting. So, what is it? What am I reviewing for you? Well, it happens to be from Signature Select brand. It's Boom! It's Signature Select, which is an in-house supermarket brand. I mostly associate with the supermarket Jewel Osco, which is a like Illinois-based bunch of supermarkets. But I have been told by some of you fine folks that actually Signature Select is a thing other places too. So, but this is some of their Steakhouse chili with beans. It's apparently gluten-free, and I could go for some chili. I like chili a lot. Let's find out if I like this chili a lot. So open it up. And this is one of those things, like it's just pre-made. You just pop it in the microwave for about 5 minutes. Bob's your uncle. Bob's my uncle. Let's go ahead and mix it up a little bit. I mean, it's got some heft to it. Like, there's some chunkiness. Let's try to get some of the, oh, let's get a thing for the thing while we can, even with the super dog shit lighting that I'm dealing with right now. Looks like this, and we'll kind of, something like that. I guess. Okay. Ha 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 ha! Let's give it a go. Okay. Alright, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Got more of the steak in that one. Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say the steak is definitely going to be the strongest aspect of this whole thing. Because you do get some, like, some properly meaty steak with this, from what I'm seeing. And the steak is very solid. It's nice and tender. It has a good flavor to it. It's nice and meaty. So I'm glad that they lived up to the Steakhouse namesake that they assigned to it. Um, they didn't have to do that, especially being an in-house supermarket brand. Like, let's be honest, you don't really expect as much from those type of brands. But I'll give a lot of credit to Signature Select. I've reviewed a bunch of their stuff now through the channel, and by and large, I would say that they kind of shirk a lot of those kind of preconceived notions about the in-house brand stuff. Like, they tend to be higher quality than, like, like your Walmart brands or stuff like that. And I would say that, they continue that with their chili. Because this is pretty good. I will say, as somebody who does like chili, and I've reviewed chili from a number of places, done Potbelly, done Culver's. I even did a local place called Strats. I've reviewed their chili. And one of my friends, a guy named Frank, who makes some of the best damn chili in the entire state of Illinois, he does chili cook-offs, and I've attended a few of those. So, like, I've got some basis in the chili knowledge. I'm going to say this right now. This would not win a chili cook-off, but it also wouldn't be, like, my bottom choice. The overall of it is good. The flavor of it has a little bit of depth. Not a lot, but there's a little something. There's a little pepperiness to it and everything. It's not, like, sweet or anything like that. It's got a little bit of depth, a little bit of richness. It's definitely a meaty chili, which is good in some ways. But it doesn't have a lot of complexity. There is very little heat to it, which, to be fair, chilies don't have to be spicy. I do tend to like mine with a little bit of a kick. This one, maybe the tiniest bit, again, sort of from the pepperiness, get a little bit of the back to the throat, but it's a very mild chili. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing I dislike about it. The one thing I'll say, I think this is actually the weakest, are the beans. I know some people don't like beans in chili. I'm fine with it, but if you're going to have beans with chili, at least for me, I like them when they're really kind of like, slow cooked with the whole process so that they can not only take on that extra flavor, but then on top of that, kind of break down some of the rigid structure of them a little bit, soften them up a little. These, they're not like hard. They don't feel like undercooked or anything, but texture-wise, they're not exactly what I like out of a beans in a chili. But yeah, it's not bad. Like I said, the steak I think is definitely the strongest aspect. When you get a nice bit of steak, and there does seem to be a good amount of it in there, that's when it's at its best, because the steak really just kind of works with that richness that it has, and again, it's a very meaty chili. So, okay, well, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get this again? Would I recommend it? On occasion and on occasion. So here's the thing. For all intents and purposes, not a bad chili. Like I said, I like the steakiness of it. I think that's the best part of it. The rest of it is a little bit pedestrian. Like, it's not doing a lot to wow me, but it's also not doing anything to offend me. Like, there's nothing I dislike about it. There's just, not as much to like about it as I maybe would have hoped. But the one thing that I consistently go back to as the strongest point was the steak, because, like I said, you got a lot of it. And on top of that, it's got, like I said, it's nice, it's tender. It definitely makes this particular chili. There are a lot of other chilies that I prefer that I would go to before I would go to this one again. And, chili, I mean, depending on where you're at and stuff, but like I said, a lot of places offer up chili increasingly as like a side option or something like that. It's not something that for me is difficult to get a hold of. So I would probably do that before I would do this, but if I happen to be at the supermarket, maybe I just want to have some chili at home, like for situations like this where like I just don't want to go out, I'd be willing to get this again. And if I'm recommending it, it really does come down to sort of a convenience factor, similar to what I was saying with my situation. Like, it's a decent enough chili. I don't think you're going to be mad at it or anything, But if you're somebody who, if you like your chili, and you have your preferences for your chili, I do feel like this one, while certainly not bad, it doesn't do a lot to impress. It's sort of utilitarian with a little bit of flair from the steak. The rest of it is pretty good. Again, nothing bad about it. It's a tasty chili for what it is, but it's not the most memorable. So, but at the same time, it's filling, and like I said, it is tasty enough. So, but anyway, 5 things for you out here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, Spanish rest of your year. Folks, go to ourselves a truly chili-tastic rest of your life. Because, folks, chili is good in its many varieties. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your personal favorite type of chili? Do you prefer spicier chili? Do you prefer it with beans, without, with peppers, without? What's your chili vibe? I'd be really interested to hear about it because I think chili is something that tends to be very personal to a lot of people. But anyway, folks,